There are those times in our lives when God doesn't act like God. That's a strange thing to say, isn't it? But it's really true. We have a concept of what we think God should be. And when people say that God is love, that He loves you unconditionally, that He wants the best for you, when it feels like He's not doing the best for us, well, He's not acting like Himself. And we continue to think surely God wouldn't want this, or surely God wouldn't allow that to happen, or surely God loves me more than to allow this. Times when God doesn't act like God. Sometimes our concept of God is a little off. And what we think God should do, He doesn't always perform. I always have an idea of what I think God should do, and He has a better idea of what He knows should be done. And many times those two things just don't match up. Fair enough, isn't it? But what happens when that gets a little tougher? What happens when there are things that really adversely affect our lives? Times when we feel overwhelmed and we feel like we're praying and we're not getting through and God's not listening and He's not acting like God because He said He would listen and take care of me. What about those times? Well, they're honestly the same times, with a little more emotion added. One of the toughest things for us to do is to line up with where God is, with what He's doing, with what He desires for you. To really begin to see where He's going and going in the same direction. It's true with all of our relationships in life. I've had so many people when they get married say, wow, I didn't realize it would be this difficult. I'm learning so many things about this other person that I didn't know. And they're not always treating me very well. And usually the correct translation is, I'm having difficulty being completed. They're kind of good in some areas I'm not so good at, and it's kind of messing with my style. You know what I'm saying? And being completed by another person is really difficult. Being completed by God is also difficult sometimes. We don't understand what He's doing, and sometimes even when we do, we don't like it very much, and we think He ought to do things more our way. But like marriage, like any good marriage, you learn from the other person, you grow through good times and bad, and you're closer as a result. And you look back over those things that you thought were so monumental and you didn't want to change, and you realize that change was exactly what you needed, and it was really good for you. The same thing is true with God. Change is what we need, and it's good for us. And those times when God doesn't seem like He's acting like God, He is, more than you ever know. And it's all part of learning, growing, becoming, better at your relationship with Him, and being able to follow His path a little better. God bless you. Have a great day.